I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, too tired. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Mike Washington still out on assignment, stays out on assignment. I'm not sure what he's doing this time, but we'll check on him. Last I heard, all is well. That's the important part. That being said, welcome to episode 843 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU dash for all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Washington and Charles Bishop, as well as AD Drew. We're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live to K-Sway's 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, multi-Hall of Famer that is Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. With that being said, let's bring the team on board. We see none other than Charles Bishop. Charles Bishop, how are you doing today?
Doing well, all things considered. Got a little oral surgery tomorrow, so I bring in my birthday over the weekend on the men this weekend. So.
Kept pushing it back. Now you got to pay the piper.
Got to pay the piper now, yeah.
Today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is sponsored by THG Agency, LLC. THG Agency is a company that provides sporting, education, consulting, and data analytics. That being said, let me go to you, AD Drew. What's the word?
They're going to have you on the good stuff for your birthday, man?
On the good stuff, man. Looking forward to the good stuff.
Nah, I'm doing all right, everybody. Doc, Charles, you guys are in education, so you know you'll feel it next week or the week after how I feel this week in athletics with the football team reporting to campus. And when I got to work on Monday, I had the realization. All that stuff that I said I was going to catch up on and plan on doing over the summer, yeah, most of that stuff did not get done like to the level that I wanted it to get done, if at all.
It happens to the best of us. Let me tell you that. I did say this summer I was going to write a little bit, and I am working on a masterpiece. I'm so happy it has re-energized the writing bug in myself. So I'm looking at some history on the SWAC. So share it a little bit with Charles and have him riveted. And so hopefully it has everybody else riveted once I put it out there in the system. Going to first look at going in the SWAC's direction, and we'll see how much we can get done with that side, and then we'll have fuller volume of that information. So that's a nice little tease and plug. But with that being said, let me go back to AD Drew. Atlanta. We know it's the place that you want to be. Certainly if you're a coach down in Texas, outside of Houston, or at least he reminds everybody that that's his destination. There's a lot of other coaches' destination as well, but there's even other individuals that's involved. With that being said, I think you got some news referring to Atlanta, the melting pot in terms of HBCUs, because the information you had is full. Go ahead and give us a little insight in terms of what came out today, AD.
First of all, I got to get my obligatory butter out.
Bread is buttered.
Yeah. I got my SIAC shirt on today. Just wanted everybody to kind of.
I like that.
that they remember that. But this was put out today.
Tell Dr. Holloman I want one.
Actually, I might have one of your size actually in the garage because I picked up all the extra shirts that they gave out that people left, and I've got some. I have some in the garage.
Well, spread the love then.
I'll see if I've got some in you guys' size in there. You know, I got them in Drew size. I don't know if I got them in Cavil and Chuck size though. But getting back to the news of the day. And this came courtesy of ESPN Events. Atlanta set to become the center of the HBCU football and band world in 2026. From the Cricket BX Challenge kickoff presented by Toyota to the Cricket Celebration Bowl presented by Toyota. Atlanta's HBCU football and band calendar will start, stay, and end in Atlanta. What do I mean, everybody? Obviously, we know John's big phrase: starts here, stays here. Well, we're going to add another line to that. Starts here, ends here. We're going to add stays here to that. So I don't know if you realize this, but in 2026, starting with the Cricket BX Challenge kickoff presented by Toyota, there will be 5 consecutive weeks where there will be HBCU football played in Atlanta. Obviously, we've got the kickoff, followed by the Big Cat Classic, which was moved up this year from the last game of the season to Labor Day, featuring Clark Atlanta and Morehouse. So 2 of the big games of the season to start off the HBCU season. You think you got enough, Charles? How about the week after that? Both Morehouse and Clark Atlanta have home games. Okay. And they're at opposite times. Morehouse plays in the day, Clark Atlanta play at night. So you can get a full day on the AUC, and if you park in the right spot, you won't have to move your car. Then the following week, let's see. During that particular week, Morehouse plays Central State, and Clark Atlanta plays Kentucky State. The following week on September 19th, Clark stays at home to face Miles College. Then we've got another doubleheader. Unfortunately, both teams are playing at the same time when Morehouse faces Edward Waters, and Clark Atlanta plays a non-conference game against Warner. After a week off, y'all, it's homecoming season. Morehouse has theirs first, where they will play Savannah State on October 10th, followed by Clark Atlanta, who takes on Allen on October 17th.
That should be a good game, too.
And then after a week off, then you could kind of get back to normal after Clark Atlanta faces Albany State on Halloween. So who's going to be scared in that one? But after you get a month to get your money back together, then you gotta come back to Atlanta, because you got the Red Lobster Band of the Year on December 11th, followed by the Cricket Celebration Bowl presented by Toyota on the 12th. So if you live in the Atlanta area, no need to travel, y'all. If you're within an hour or 2 ride of Atlanta, plenty of HBCU football in Atlanta. And you know, the other big thing outside of football, just the culture, the band. Here's the question of the day, everybody. We've got Howard's Showtime Band and the Marching Maroon and White of Alabama A&M. 2024, the Marching 100 participated in the kickoff game. Won the Band of the Year. 2025, Southern Jukebox participated in the kickoff game.
That's true.
Won the Band of the Year. So,
good homework.
For the third consecutive year, will a band who participates in the kickoff game make it back to the band of the year?
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure on those bands.
That's a lot of pressure on those bands. Championships will be abound, And last thing, and I know I've been long-winded. What happens if Morehouse and or Clark host the SIAC championship game? That wasn't even in the article, but that goes to the field of the home of the ISC. It could happen to add even more games to the Atlanta area. So just thought I'd throw that out there for everybody, and we hope to see you starting off on August 29th. Then we'll figure out the rest, everybody.
Atlanta's second home over there.
It is. I got some. I can get y'all some decent hotel rates.
Yeah.
I like that. One thing that stuck out to me that I really liked in the release that really speaks to the branding opportunity with their Atlanta partnership, ESPN, and the HBCUs about that being the mecca of HBCUs participating in various events. It talks about the first 5 weeks, which you announced of the season, and 8 of the first 10 weeks include HBCU football games right there in your backyard. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool when you think about that. And when you think about some of the major metropolitan areas, Baltimore, Houston, Dallas, if you want to include those, and even New Orleans to some degree, you don't necessarily get outside of the institution of playing, or you don't necessarily get the concentrating of not only your local institution, HBCUs, but exterior, out of the local area, HBCUs coming to town. So that's pretty cool for Atlanta in terms of being able to recognize and take advantage of this in terms of front-facing, if you would, about the HBCU framework. With that being said, Charles, I want to go to you. What's your thoughts on some news of the day? Good information.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. This comes to us from the good people at HBCU Game Day, Stephen Gaither. Chris Paul, he was having his HBCU Classic as it changes locations and switches format. The Chris Paul HBCU Classic will bring 4 Division II programs to Washington, D.C. as part of a 2-day showcase featuring 9 HBCU basketball teams. Winston-Salem State, Clark, Atlanta, Virginia State, and West Virginia State will make up the Division II field for the 3rd annual event. Toyota Chris Paul HBCU Classic will take place December 4th and 5th at Care First Arena. Representing the Division I will be Hampton, Florida A&M, Grambling, and Tennessee State, as well as Howard. So 9 programs up there in the D.C. area for the Chris Paul Classic. So looking forward to basketball right toward the end of football season, and Chris Paul kicks in with that Chris Paul Classic. So it should be a really nice event.
Yeah, great information. Look forward to that. I've had a chance to go when it was in Las Vegas. I wanted to go last year in Atlanta, couldn't reschedule some things after just being in Atlanta for the Cricket Celebration Bowl, now presented by Toyota. But now they're jumping up to D.C., which is going to be good for folks in that area. But that's the same weekend as the SWAC championship game. And obviously, the host team of that game depends on who has the best record in the regular season. So you don't tend to know until later in the season. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But another great opportunity. I like the fact they got Tennessee State in there, independent program, and that matchup with FAMU. We are used to hearing about that. And for us that had understood about the Atlanta Classic, as Drew has talked about that, since people are kind of refocused on that, FAMU and Tennessee State, in regards to Tennessee State going to FAMU this year, and then FAMU will be going back up to Tennessee State. Obviously, the focus right now seems to be on Tennessee State and Jackson State. But in a couple of weeks, it'll turn to that. It's fascinating to see that game will be played on the hardwood. And after Tennessee State making the tournament last year, FAMU's regular season grind, getting a win in the tournament, that game for those that are just kind of basketball guys, Charles and AD,
Mhm.
that had some interest to me. Obviously, the Howard Hampton game, Battle of the HU, which you talk about football wise, it's doing its thing in terms of moving back to Audi Field to host that Battle of Real HU. Just to give a plug on that, which is Saturday, October the 13th, with kickoffs, and they're putting a lot of stuff around that. HBCU Go will be broadcasting, streaming live, and syndications with TV markets, which will be good. But particularly when you talk about those private institutions with New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, Dallas, and Atlanta, the name the big markets that are associated with HBCU Go. So that's great. But then you got the battle there in terms of what they're doing on the hardwood. And then you got Grambling sneaking back in there. So it'll be interesting in some of those matchups. Fascinating to see what that looks like. But this is intriguing to me too, before we take our first break and kind of come back and get into these schedules we've done over the last two shows. We've seen, the HBCU bands get their due love, I think, from musicality, video representation. Obviously, we know about the Grammy run by Tennessee State a couple of years ago, and the band up that way. And then recently, beyond the Band of the Year award, you had Southern getting a documentary and award for Emmy Award. Now you got a Emmy Award winning Rise of the Legion, Norfolk State band. Documentary screening on a panel discussion with special guest Coach Vick. It's at the Martha Vineyards, August 9th. So I thought that's pretty cool. You see President there. They'll be discussing about that documentary. So folks in that area and then get a chance to clip it. I think that's going to be pretty big time. And then, not to push past this, since Charles is giving us some basketball information, I'll share some more to let everybody know we just don't talk about football. We give you all of the information out. Norfolk State's men's basketball team will open preparations for the 2026-27 season with 3 games international tour of San Juan, Puerto Rico. The Spartans will face LBP All-Stars of 3 consecutive nights. That's from Wednesday, August the 12th to Friday, August the 14th. I wish I'd have known a little earlier. I'd find my way to Puerto Rico. I like San Juan. It's a nice place to enjoy yourself, right?
It is.
But for those that can't go, it will be broadcast on BallerTV. Unfortunately, you do have to have a subscription required, so that may make it a little bit difficult for some, but we'll report it. It is at 8 p.m. All the games kick off. That's Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central. Again, that's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the 12th, 13th, and 14th. For those that are interested in a little bit of basketball, getting your early ground on that before you get your football in, you'll see that. I love those international tours for HBCU programs, the exposure that it provides to students with seeing something different. I think that is really a great opportunity, if nothing else. Obviously, exposing the brand of HBCUs, international, in this case, Puerto Rico, U.S. territory, understand that, but still, I like that framework and getting folks out there. We talked a little bit about that with baseball, with a couple of HBCU brands in terms of individual, whether coaches or players getting an opportunity to that, but I think that's a big deal. Just wanted to point that out. With that being said, let's take our first break. We'll come back on the other side, and it's time to get into the breakdown of our schedule. We're going to get into team predicted in number 4 position, if you would, and get your thoughts on that. We'll be right back after this break.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Lab. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Lab, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8888 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Introducing the HBCU Trivia Game. It's more than a board game, it's a journey to the legacy of historically black colleges and universities. Here's how it works. 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, start as freshmen and roll the dice to advance. But here's the twist. You can only move forward by answering trivia questions about HBCU. Test your knowledge of notable alumni, key historical events, sports milestones, and fun HBCU facts. Watch out for spaces that can propel you ahead or set you back. And if you get a question wrong, you stay put until your next turn. The first to reach graduation wins! The HBCU Trivia Game. Support, educate, entertain! Available now. Let the journey begin.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Test the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Let's get into it in regards to our schedule for Texas Southern University. They were predicted order of finish number 4. Interesting to see what that schedule looks like when you talk about the big one. I like this matchup to get things started. This should be fun. North Carolina Central at Texas Southern University. Texas Southern was on the move last year. Certainly feels 6-6 season. Again, this always is fascinating when you talk about where you are with the level of your program. North Carolina Central had 8 wins, probably similar to what you think about Jackson State, but they didn't make it a conference championship, or did they get to the Celebration Bowl? So they see it as a down year. That lets you know that you're in high water in terms of your expectations. Number 6, you have Texas Southern at Prairie View. The Labor Classic is still on Labor Day, but because the schedule has changed, meaning you can play in week 0. We had Brian over here. He might go to town on that week 0, week 1. You know, he loves to get in the battle. Might have to get him to throw in the towel again, though. Maybe it's week 0. Number 12, you step up in terms of FBS competition. This is a G6 game, so those games are a little different than when you think about those Super 2, if you would, or what many refer to as a Power 4. But this one is on the road. UTEP, long trip, even though you're in Texas, and you have to take a flight on that one. But you have Texas Southern, second conference game. They're at Alcorn. It is a division conference game, so it means a lot. We talked about Prairie View playing so many of their division games early. We talked about Alcorn playing division games early. Not a lot of them, but you do have 2 of them in September for Texas Southern University. So very early, you get an indication in terms of where they will be balancing themselves in the mix. And they play up to another G6. This one is at Florida. What is that? International or is that Atlantic with the Owls there?
Uh,
On the road. So that's going to be fascinating. And then we got Valley at Texas Southern. Sneaky good, Charles, maybe?
It is sneaky good. It is sneaky
back
good.
into the West Division with Southern. So before you get midway to October, you got three. You go to October 31st. You do that. And remember that game has been moved to the 24th. So you get a week off before that. And then you got 2 back-to-back games. But you get both of them in Houston. There's a lot of things you got to like about this schedule. And when you talk about home games, even though they will not be on campus, we've known that for a while, but they're not going to be at formerly BVA Stadium. So that may be something to keep your eye on. Homecoming will be at NRG, though.
Yeah.
You got Alabama State at Texas Southern. That's a tough one in terms of least predicted thoughts. Alabama A&M could be a tough road game. We've seen that play out before. Pine Bluff at Texas Southern to close things off. I'm going to go with you, Charles, first, and then come to you, AD. What are your thoughts in terms of Texas Southern's schedule for 2026? You like them home games, or you like where games fall? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's the right schedule. Wrong year to have the games not at your place, that sort of deal. But, I mean, you kind of take a look at it. I mean, you get Southern, you get Grambling. You can get Alabama State coming into Houston this upcoming season, UAPB. The thing I look at with this particular schedule, let's just hypothetically, you hold things still at home. You hold serve at home. Which of the away games can you get? Can you get Alcorn or can you get Prairie View? Because the schedule really works out pretty well when you take a look at it for Texas Southern.
5 conference home games.
Yeah, 5 conference home games. They were 4th in the SWAC in rushing last season, and then you add a Cameron McCoy. And we know the damage that he can do from a quarterback position in terms of running the football. Can they throw the football? Can they open things up a little bit this season and kind of have some balance? So those are the things that I kind of take a look at with this Texas Southern schedule. But they could be sneaky, sitting around the chicken coop, if you will. They could be right there.
Good stuff. 80 Drew, you do agree? Are you going in a different direction? No, you were going to tell us about Texas Southern road game in Florida there.
Yeah, well, I think that's Florida Atlantic, the Owls, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I got a couple questions that I need answered before I actually give my analysis. How the heck did Texas Southern wind up with 5 home games in the conference? Because usually it's a 4-4 split. So we haven't gone through the schedule. Who's the team that's short? And there are no nuisance games on the schedule.
They're trying to right side the schedule, so they flipped Pine Bluff at Texas Southern. It was there, and they flipped it here this year. I'm not sure what was behind that, but there's some thoughts that maybe they should have flipped the Texas Southern game. In any event, I think that's an excellent question.
Yeah,
because that means
somebody's short.
The idea is that means they're playing 5 games on the road.
Yeah, and somebody this season has 5 road games. We just haven't come across that schedule yet.
That's true.
So that's something we just need to pay attention to as we start going through the schedules to see who the team is that's short. All right. Number 2, I think it's interesting that they're only playing 11 games, and because of that, they've got a September bye and an October bye. Can the Tigers take advantage of having the 2 byes on their schedule? 4 of your first 5 on the road, but 4 of your last 5 at home. That's an interesting dynamic there. Also, actually, 5 of your last 6 are at home. that might be a little bit of an advantage given their stadium situation, having to play musical stadiums and everything, to know I really only have to go across town versus, all those games. I would hate to have to play all those games in a row. If Texas Southern can get through September, they have a schedule that is set up for them to take the West. It's just simple. If they can knock off Prairie View, knock off Alcorn, and then you've got 5 of your last 6 at home.
Yeah,
think about that, y'all.
Yeah,
I don't care if you have a true home stadium or not.
If you can get both, you're certainly in the catbird seat. If you can get even split, you're still in a pretty good position.
Give me a split. That's all I had. Give me a split.
Even a split with 5 of your last 6 conference games at home. If they had a stable stadium, this would be who I would put my money on, given this schedule.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how they play that out. You're right. Great comments by both of y'all. We'll take our next break. We'll be right back, and we'll get into number 5, the 5th pole position, at least predicted order of finish in terms of 2026. We'll be right back with Southern. This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Do you own a business, have a service or product, apparel, entertainment, or food? Would you like to reach an educated client base that are loyal? Then the Urban Passport Business Directory is for you. The Urban Passport is your premier digital discount and media portal with the Urban Digital Television Networks and V108 radio properties embedded. Stay connected with the community with the latest news, entertainment, and HBCU sports and culture with the Black College Sports Network. Visit myjbn.com/passport to register your business and sign up for your free app before the August 24th release date. We are the premier digital national urban business directory, always free to the consumer. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book, and your digital passport to a world of savings. Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Test the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
It feels like you're getting more comfortable out here. Like, are you just feeling more comfortable, like, doing this kind of thing, like juggling the media, juggling all the
I'm not
players?
comfortable with being a head coach yet. It's just all honesty. I don't know if there's comfort in being a head coach. every day when I lay down, there's a problem. When I wake up, there's a problem. All right? So there's no real comfort in that. I should say the comfort is in my athletic director, is in my board, is in my chancellor, my president, them helping me to resolve whatever those problems are so we can put the best product on the field. That's the comfort, and knowing that I have that help around me to put the best out on the field.
But by the end
that was refreshing in a lot of ways to hear Coach Faulk say that. I never really thought about that in terms of the question comfort. And in a lot of jobs that you have, you don't necessarily have a comfort level. You can have a confidence type of level that you're ready, and especially if you got the support around you to help you move things forward. And then we know about the business of coaching that when you're over managing that many folks, that he's correct, that there is always somebody coming to your office with concerns that they believe that you can help fix. I see that as a dean oftentimes. Go ahead, Drew.
I said comfort breeds complacency, and when a coach becomes complacent, that's when things tend to go south as a coach. So you never want to get comfortable, like you said. Confident, yes. Borderline cocky, maybe. Comfortable,
never.
Nah.
Yeah, I agree. Good stuff. Let's bring it on the schedule.
Yeah. Dr. Cavil, I was gonna say it, and it's we noticed it on this schedule too. And it was on the previous Texas Southern schedule. The October 17th game, Texas Southern, is actually October 24th now.
Right, I mentioned that on there. I'm glad you pointed it out again because it's on this as too. These schedules came out before both institutions made the update. But for the people out there, that's a very good one to point out because I'm sure folks want to make sure that if they're coming to Houston, that they come to Houston on the right date. We'll have you in Houston, though. It's not a bad time to get out in Houston.
I'll be there.
Oh, nice. Let's go. Get some he must have an open weekend.
That's our bye weekend. And I was talking to Dr. Cavil. I said, Doc, I've done FAMU's homecomings. I've never done Texas Southern or Prairie View's homecoming. And when I looked and saw Texas Southern homecoming was our open weekend at Morehouse, I mean, I'm already looking at flights and everything to come down there and everything. Plus,
I like that.
The hotels are a hell of a lot cheaper in Houston than in Tallahassee that weekend.
Smart on that as well. Yeah. Well, the first game is a non-conference game, as I like to call them. But one thing that they do in terms of the HBCU Central Network is a lot of the classic games. And I wonder if they'll do that for any of the season matchups. But they'll talk about the last 10 results. They have a little graphic that is fascinating. I like this. 25-23, they played. And those games went to the Hornets, and Southern had 5 games in a row from 21 to 2013, and then it alternated back 12, 11, and 10, if you would. So that means 6 of the last 10 have gone to the Jaguars. So it'll be interesting to see, can they get back into winning side of things, or will it stay with the Hornets, finding a way to get 3 in a row, starting a real streak. Then Southern has a home game, Kentucky State. Usually you would say no big problem, but we've seen what Kentucky State has done over the years. Particularly, oddly enough, Kentucky State has taken on what many refer to as the Big Three. Yeah. Got one of them. Many people think they should have got another one last year against Grambling. Can they get and sneak one against Southern, which would be real ugly on the bluff, but hey. We talked about Southern coming to Houston. Well, they come to Houston early, and that is to face the 4 institutions out of the Big 12 U of H. Remember, they made that transition a couple of years ago. And so Southern is on the road here in Houston, across the street across Scott Street, as we like to say around these parts. Then they have a non-conference game on the 19th. I'll kind of skip through that. Then you have the big one, Southern at Jackson State, and this one is a conference matchup, so it counts more than just bragging rights on this one. They got to go to Jackson, Mississippi, and Southern hasn't had success in Mississippi in a while. They hadn't had success against Jackson, to be frankly, in a while. Can they change that? Exactly. Come back home to Pine Bluff. Then they have a series of games on the road. 3 of the 4 weeks they're on the road. First is at Prairie View. So that's 2 Western Division games they have by the 10th. As we said, the game listed here as the 17th has moved to the 24th. That is Texas Southern. It will be at NRG Stadium for those that haven't heard where it will be played, and that is Texas Southern's homecoming. That Drew is making plans to come to H-Town. Then you have October 31st, so back-to-back weekends. They're on the road. This time they go to Tallahassee, highest of 7 hills, as they like to say on them parts. This is an old rivalry game. It used to be between interconference games, but as we know, since 2021, it's become a conference game. FAMU having the best of the series. Then you have the other Florida school. This one travels. This one is going to go to the Bluff, Bethune-Cookman. You have also 2 straight home games. You get Alcorn. It's a big rival. People are talking about having this push later in the season. Be interesting to see what does it mean at that point. And then you have the Bayou Classic. We talked about this from the Gramblin's perspective, but now it's Southern. They got a big win last year when nobody, even some of their fans, did not expect that. Those are sometimes the best ones when you get them like that. Starting with you, AD Drew, what are your thoughts in terms of 2026 schedule for Southern? Coach Faulk not being comfortable as he gets comfortable about not being comfortable in a lot of ways. Go ahead.
I definitely don't need you to be. We don't need to talk about the week 0 matchup. Everybody's already talked about it. We've dissected it, bisected it, and done everything we can with the week 0 matchup. I'm going to talk about the school in this conference right here on September 5. Kentucky State. First of all, Kentucky State should not sneak up on a SWAC opponent this year, given what they almost did to Grambling last year. So, Marshall Faulk, if there's ever a game you better not be comfortable with, you better not be comfortable with that Division II opponent that you are going to be playing, and not looking a week ahead against Houston and figuring out I want to get some people some reps so that, you know, they don't get hurt against Houston and all that kind of stuff, because we already know what the Houston game is all about. So don't get comfortable September 5. September 19th. Remind me, who was that again?
Louisiana College, I believe it is.
Louisiana Christian. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the one that looks good for the fans at the end of the year because that's in the W column and everything. Going to Jackson State, and 2 trips to Texas in your first 4 games.
3 trips to Texas. Oh, first 4. I'm sorry. You right.
In your first 4 conference games. And actually, yes, thanks for pointing that out, Dr. Cavil. 3 trips to Texas, all of them to the Houston metro area. You know, I don't know what airline flies between Baton Rouge and Houston, but that's going to be, you know, you'll get to know your pilot and your flight attendants on that particular flight if you're going to be going to the same one.
Not, you certainly don't know the bus driver.
Exactly. And let's keep this in mind. October 24th, the Texas Southern game. Remember, October 24th. So I got to go from one edge of the conference in Houston, damn near to the other end of the conference, to Tallahassee, Florida, back-to-back weeks. Not a recipe for a W especially the second game of that series. So, Charles, I gotta leave you something, so I'm gonna just stop right there.
It's a daunting schedule. I will say this: Kentucky State will not sneak up on anybody. That everybody saw what they did last year to Grambling. So conceivably, coming out of the first 4 games, Southern could have a couple wins. So Kentucky State, Louisiana Christian, not going to take anything away from Kentucky State. Going to play them hard. All my Jackson State people are texting me now. Don't start that about Southern going to be in the game. Listen, it's Southern Jackson. It's a rival game. All right, so it's going to be a good game. Jackson State will be favored, but all good things at some point come to an end, and that game scares me. That's one to kind of pay attention to. You can't put so many eggs into the Jackson State basket that you forget about UAPB, SWAC West game, and UAPB put 40 points up on Southern last year. So that one is one that you kind of have to pay attention to. Then it gets really daunting when you're on the road. Prairie View, Texas Southern, Florida A&M. That's a rough stretch right there. At least you get Bethune-Cookman coming in, you get Alcorn coming in, and then of course Bayou Classic. But it's a tough schedule. But I could see them with 4 wins this upcoming season. You never know. Things happen. You could probably maybe get to 6, maybe, but 4 should be a great start for Marshall Faulk.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I could conceivably see Southern going 5-0 at home this year.
I can see that.
What? Say it again.
I could conceivably see Southern going 5-0 at home.
Yeah, I could see that.
I can see that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. That's pretty good.
I don't think they are favored in any of the road games, though. That's the problem.
No. Definitely not favored in any of the road games.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And if
After not getting a home win last year, it'd be refreshing to get 5. That'll be a major statement in the right direction. I know they want some of them rivalry wins, but still, after not winning a game last year, that's pretty big.
We know, G-Boone, Southern is known for dropping the game at home that they're not supposed to drop and everything, but I had to put it out there for conversation.
I like it. I thought it was a good point. We'll take our next break and come back on the other side and get with Pine Bluff. Their predicted order 6. I guess the question of the day is, can they move up the ladder? We'll talk about it right after this last break.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Register your business for the premier urban business directory in the country, the Urban Passport. Visit myjbn.com/passport. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
Test the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want a loss, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Let's go ahead, and that's with Professor Bishop and Professor Drew. Let's go ahead and bring up the UAPB schedule. Interesting schedule for UAPB. I see some games in here, and I like what they did in terms of the balance of the schedule, particularly for their home games. First, they come in with Morehouse at home. That's SIAC SWAC matchup in week 0. So it'll be interesting. Drew gets the chance to go with his Maroon Tigers on the road and see what they do against the Golden Lions. Then they play up. They play Super 2 school. They play SEC school in Missouri. I wonder if Missouri is like Georgia, where they charge for the tickets in terms of their matchup in their home games. I wonder if they've gotten that type of crowd. Obviously, Georgia's a little different in terms of their fan base, but still, I'm just intrigued because we've heard that in terms of Tennessee State band and how much it was going to cost Tennessee State to bring their band because of those premium seats. Then they get into conference play. But this one is in the Southern Heritage Classic. Pine Bluff got it done last year. All corners looking for some revenge, but I'm sure they're going to look to make it 2 in a row and make an early statement in the conference race. Certainly a good way to get off start, if you would. Then they go back to the SIAC. This one is out of Ohio. When you talk about this matchup here at Central State, it'll be interesting to see. Remember, one time you had both of these programs playing in the NIA. If memory serves me right, Pine Bluff was 1 game away from meeting Central State in a NAIA national championship game. That would have been cool, one that you wouldn't fit. And the quarterfinals matchup had Langston in the mix. So that was a time where if you're at NAIA level, you could enjoy some HBCU football because they were going deep in the playoffs. Another era. They're off 26, back into the SWAC. Pine Bluff at Southern. This would be a stunner. They could get this one, I'd imagine. For some people, maybe not. Alabama State is a tough one, but they got them at home. So you like to have your chances and take advantage of that. Then they have to go to Tallahassee. And then they get Bethune-Cookman. You imagine Bethune-Cookman is taking a flight to that game, so maybe there'll be some jet lag. By the end, you'll know Pine Bluff. Are they beyond playing hard and able to finish some games, or are they still in that neutral position, if you would? They played Grambling really well, but they got to go to Grambling. You got Prairie View at home, and then you go to Texas Southern, and that did not end up well last year, so they certainly have revenge on their mind there. Charles, back to you. What are your thoughts in terms of this matchup?
Perfect scenario. UAPB goes 3-1 after the first 4 games of the season. They got a week off. They go to Southern. a team they beat 40-21 last season. They put up 40 points against Southern. So you're 4-1 going into the Alabama State game, and Alabama State comes to you. Okay.
Wow.
All right. And then it gets daunting from there. You go to fam. Bethune-Cookman comes into you. You go to Gremlin. Prairie View comes in. It looks great at the beginning, and then then it kind of does that for UAPB. So I don't know. It could be a great start to the season, but at back end of the schedule is not looking fun.
Yeah, if they get off to that kind of start, then there's a real chance that they can sneak one. And two, they can get to 500.
Yeah.
That would be a huge statement.
They have one of the best running backs on the SWAC in Jalen Jennings. So, in some points, you ride a running back, and you get some offense. They got to figure out how to throw the ball. They haven't been able to really throw the ball since Mekhi Higgins was there. So,
good stuff. 80 Drew?
Charles, I think it's interesting that you thought the FAMU game could be the turning point in the season, not the Alabama State game. I thought that was very interesting how you figured that game would be the turning point. Now, I agree with you. Going into Tallahassee on homecoming is going to be tough for UAPB, but I think they go get tested the week before. That's my whole point.
You go in with tidings of good joy if you're 4-1 with the Alabama State game. So
take your chances.
AD
said there ain't gonna be no chance,
especially not a homecoming in Tallahassee. If you've never been to homecoming in Tallahassee, oh my God!
It's different. It's
a different type of
experience.
experience.
I was there with Texas Southern. That was
dope.
Fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun necessarily being a TSU Tiger, but it was a fun experience.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna give you a game. Let's not sleep on this one. And yes, I'm being a little bit of a homer right now. Let's not sleep on that August 29th game. Don't think UAPB is gonna come in and the Maroon Tigers gonna travel all the way across there and get blown out.
Watch this.
Yeah.
I think the days of sleeping on the SIAC with anything, those are done. Everybody knows that's good football over there.
Yeah.
So they just can't sneak up on folks anymore.
Yeah, and think about it. You got a quarterback for Morehouse who threw for almost 2,500 yards last year and 18 touchdowns.
Good point.
So the secondary is going to get a lot of work in that game. Win or lose, they are going to get a lot of work. And to tell y'all the secret, looking at the running back room, them linebackers going to have to cheat up. That's all I'm going to say. With Morehouse. Yeah, but the rest of the one thing I like about this schedule, it's an even schedule. If you notice, the conference schedule is how it's supposed to be. Every other game at home, every other game on the road, just how you want your conference schedule to be. And who is this graphic credit of, Dr. Cavil?
This is coming to you by HBCU. Central.
All right. Now, go back to the graphic for me, G Boom. Go back to the UAPB schedule. I am going to tell you, shout out to HBCU Central for not AI in this graphic. And the reason I know this graphic is not created on ChatGPT or another AI is because the Morehouse graphic does not come in clean on AI, and that is our graphic. They put the white background behind, but that is the Morehouse graphic. So that's why I know they actually took the time and created this graphic, and I want to give them their proper shout out and due for that, for using proper graphics and logos for our institutions.
Good stuff. Great shout out. And another one is that UAPB in terms of the main. You can clearly see it is the UAPB.
UAPB, yeah.
One of the best mascot graphics out there. And the fact it was done by a student in terms of the contest is legendary. To me, it'll be a minute before they change that. If anything, you might touch it up, modernize it, whatever they call it. But I would hate for them to change that anytime soon. It is powerful in many different ways. Great. When you talk about HBCU Central, put in the work. As we come to a close, let me ask you this question since we finished the predicted order of work in terms of the Western Division. Bulls up. Starting with you, Drew. Who is going to be the best Bulls up? And the way I'm describing that is who's going to have the biggest jump based on where they were predicted. Who's going to finish higher, the most high, based on where they were predicted?
Give me the order again because I can't remember.
Sure. I'm going to start at the bottom.
3. Okay.
6 was Pine Bluff. 5 was Southern. 4 was Texas Southern. 3 was Alcorn State. 2 was Grambling, and 1 was Prairie.
Wow, this is tough, Dr. Cavil.
Yeah.
Put me on the spot.
Especially the way you said it.
I'm going to lean Texas Southern, although outside of me not liking their stadium situation, I like everything else about the Tigers.
That's fair.
So I think that is going to be the one. And let me give this for full disclosure. I can't pick Prairie View because they're pick 1. I can't go Bulls up on a team that's already at the
right
at the top and everything. And you can't go Bears down on Southern because they're at the bottom. So I've got 4 teams, and of the 4 teams, I love their schedule. If they had a stadium, but I'm still going to lean on the mental fortitude of the students to fight through this tough situation.
Good stuff. Shout out Texas Southern. Bears up. Charles, for you, Bears up. Who do you think is going to have the biggest differential based on how they were predicted in the preseason, Frankie?
Southern, nowhere to go but up. You were 2-10 last season. So, I mean, if you can get to
Captain Obvious.
Yeah, I mean, you get to 5 wins, you get to 6 wins. Hey, that was success. And I don't know, we've seen a breath of fresh air when it hits a school.
Oh, they get to rolling. You're right. Sticking with you, Charles. Bulls down. Who do you think is going to have the biggest differential going in the wrong direction?
Oh, boy.
Bear down.
I would have to lean on this one, potentially Alcorn.
They have the biggest delta, too, because they could be really up there or they could fall hard. That's a good one.
Exactly.
AD, last one for you is obviously same follow-up question I had with Charles. Who's going to have the biggest delta going in the wrong direction? Bears up, Bulls down.
Can I ask a qualifier before I answer?
Yes, always. Hopefully I can answer.
Are we going by record or position? As in first, second, third?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to talk about record. Conference record, that is.
Yeah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I asked that question is Prairie View last year 7-1 in conference. Very well could have been 8-0, but at the same time could have been 6-2.
Yep.
So I do think Prairie View slides back possibly 1 game this year to 6-2, but I think I have to lean on Grambling. I think Grambling's schedule of that top tier, those top 3, I think they have the toughest schedule of those top 3 conference, the way their games play out and everything. So if I have to say one is not going to live up to expectations, especially being picked number 2 after finishing 4 or 5 last year, then I'm going to lean Grambling.
Good stuff. Good qualifications. Great breakdown. We'll close up the week on that. Next week is the East, so it should be fun again. We look at the East, boy. That's going to be a monster. We've already talked about the left. When you get to the schedule, I think it's really going to play us out when you get to see who's home and who's away, number of games you may have in a row. So it'll be fun to look at the East next week, particularly when we counter it against the predicted order.
Hope I'm well.
Yeah, we need you. We need you. Get well. With that being said, thank you for listening inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab. in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Again, I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, we want to thank you for listening. Obviously, with AD Drew giving us a backup for Mike Washington, we appreciate him, his insight, and bringing a little more information on the SIAC, even though Charles said, don't be fooled. We know not to overlook the SIAC. I think it's a great point.
You better know about that.
Exactly. We want to thank you for listening to Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles every Tuesday and Thursday. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest news in the lab. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil. That's Threads, Facebook, and Instagram. We are tabulating the numbers fast and furious for the Black College Sports Football Poll. We will be releasing an All-American team preseason, so I'm fascinated to see how that works out. So look forward to that in the coming week or so. Dream big, continue to move forward. We'll talk with you soon. Charles?
Of course.
AD?
Lecture.
Dismiss.
Cavil.